After a few duelist games, I'm back on strategist. And for the next several wins, that's gonna be the case. I'm trying out Jeff. I told you Jeff is a problem. He got buffed. He did not get nerfed. This is my first win with him in competitive because I've played with him before. I got all the achievements. Remember, I've played with pretty much every character. And I know there's still people upset about the rework because I remember he was crazy. That secondary attack, it was so fast and you could just spam it, but you had to be up close. Now that they reworked him, you have so much range, and look at the aiming. I don't have the best aim, but the aiming is very forgivable. So you don't have to be perfect, you don't have to be precise, and you can put a lot of pressure and a lot of damage on the enemy team. I mean, look at this fight I'm getting into with Hella, and I'm dancing. Got her up out of there. Now the Thor wants some of this action. And you see how fast you can go from aiming or hitting the ground to then go into the air? It is crazy. That's another reason why I like Jeff, because of all the flyers out there. I like being able to put some pressure on the flyers if I see them, because Cloak and Dagger, I love Cloak and Dagger, but they have range issues. You're gonna see me popping shots from way downtown. You can't do that with Cloak and Dagger. I mean, look at this. Look at this. And then the movement. Jeff has crazy movement. So what you really need to do is you need to do a dance. You need to do this drift move. Whenever you go backwards, you start drifting, and it's really hard to hit you, but it's still easy for you to hit your targets. I mean, look at this aiming. Look at that. Look at that. I'm going up, down, left, right. I'm getting assists like crazy. I'm keeping this Ultron healed up. I got a lot of inspiration playing Duelist and seeing those strategists keep me healed up even as a flyer. So that's really what I'm trying to do here. I'm just trying to make sure everybody's healed up and that we're winning these fights. Now, this was a bad ult. I didn't get anybody. That's tough. You're actually going to see a lot of bad ults from me. It's a process. I really got to figure out how to best use this ult, but it does have its advantages. So let's say your team is about to get ulted. Let's say a Doctor Strange is doing the eye. When he does that, you can go in and save them, save your teammates, and then throw them back out. There's a lot of situations where you can do that. So there's some good and there's some bad. I kind of got to figure it out. I got to get used to it. And that's going to happen with more playtime because I pretty much only used Jeff just to get the achievements. And that was it. I never used him again. But now I love what he brings to the table because it's something different. See, there goes the eye. I didn't have my ult. If I did, I could have let that fly. But I am amazed at the healing I'm able to do with Jeff. I know a lot of people, they always say, well, he's not the greatest healer. The numbers are low, but I don't know. You're going to see I get a lot of MVPs. And actually, the very next game I'm going to show you is my best game with Jeff. I get 48 kills. And I'm going to have crazy healing numbers as I'm doing all that damage as well. There's going to be a lot of MVPs coming with Jeff. He is an MVP machine. He's an MVP merchant. He really is. It's just like Ultron. You know how Ultron farms a lot of MVPs? They love to give him MVPs. And I ain't mad at all. And I remember even before the rework, when I had my best game with Wolverine, I had 54 kills. We had a Jeff on our team, and he was doing a good job. He was keeping us healed up. We had another strategist as well doing a great job. But I had no problems with Jeff. Yes, sometimes Jeff can do a bad job. I know everybody has played with those Jeffs that do terrible. I mean, it happens. But if the player's doing a good job, Jeff is viable. He gets the job done. He really does, and you're going to see in all of these gameplays. So I know, I mean, I have a lot of teammates sometimes, like in between the rounds, they're looking like they're getting mad at me, especially before we even start doing anything. Maybe before the first round, they're like, uh-oh, he picked Jeff. A lot of people are thinking, well, if they pick Jeff, that's a throw pick. It's just like some of the other characters that when you pick them, people think you're going to throw, like Black Widow. Usually when you see a Black Widow in a low rank, right, you're like, uh-oh, they're going to be throwing. But the Black Widows, they're dangerous. They really are in the higher ranks. When you see a Black Widow, they know what they're doing. But I understand the concern when you see certain picks because Jeff, his ult is not the best. You want to get those invincibility ults. You want that Luna ult, 12 seconds of cheese. You want that cloak and dagger, you want that invisible woman, I totally get it. And that's why when I'm playing as Loki, I don't like it when I have a Jeff because I can't steal the Jeff. I have to steal the ult from the other team if that happens. Sometimes I also get an Ultron when I'm playing as Loki, and I'm just as mad. But the funny thing about this game, there is a culture of people throwing. Because in the lower lobbies, if you actually go and look at some of the replays of the games, there are professional throwers. There are people in bronze and silver where they are intentionally throwing the game. You'll see somebody end the game with a 0-0 stat line, and you'll be like, how did they not get kicked out of the game? Now look at this. This was a terrible ult. I've got the Thing. I've got Doctor Strange. I try to throw them, and they both get out of there. That's tough. That's very tough. See, I got work to do. I'm telling you, there's going to be bad ults. There's going to be a lot of bad ults just like that. But then there's going to be some clutch ones too. So the journey, the progression, and remember, this time I'm just showing you everything in chronological order. Like my next game is gonna be the best game with Jeff. I could have shown that right now, but I figured let me show you the first time just so you could see how I was feeling. I say, okay, this is a decent game. I'm doing a good job, I'm healing. I like the range. I like what I'm doing. Something like, it's not the greatest game, but hey, sometimes in these higher ranks, you don't really care. As long as you get the win, it doesn't really matter if the game was a crazy game or not. You just gotta let it fly. But there are professional throwers, people that are finishing the game 0-0, and you wonder how did they not get kicked for inactivity. What they do, which is crazy, is they do move their character. And then look, this was a good ult. See, they did the I just saved my team, so they don't die. Now I'm gonna die, but this time Doctor Strange is out of there. So you're wondering, how do these people that are throwing with stats like 0-0-0 at the end of the game, how did they not get kicked for inactivity? It's because they actually move their character. Every 20 to 30 seconds, they do take a few steps forward or maybe a few steps backwards. And it makes you wonder, what are these crazy people doing in ranked? Why are they playing ranked and intentionally throwing like that? Like they're really, because you know if you don't move, the game is gonna say, uh-oh, if you don't move, we're gonna kick you. So they actually play it to just move to ruin somebody's day. I remember when I was down there in bronze and silver, and it was so frustrating because your teammates are horrible, and you really have people doing stuff like that on purpose. So I try to report them. If I ever see that, I report them. I go in the chat like, hey, report this player because they're not moving. It's crazy that people are actually out there doing that. So if you're in the lower ranks, you need to pay attention. Look around, see if you had one of those teammates. Did you have somebody that never moved, that had a stat line like 0-0-0? You'd be surprised. There's a lot of people doing that on purpose. That's crazy. So pretty good first game. I'm gonna get the MVP. Look at these stats. They're not even crazy stats. It was a 15-3 game, something light. Look at the healing stats, 15,000 healing. I mean, you saw me healing on the ground, in the air. Pretty good. Next up is a 48 kill game. Give that guy a map. Merch is now available at chrissmooth.com, shipping worldwide. My songs, He Quit the Game, Lob City, and My Camo are now available on all streaming platforms. But look what I'm gonna do to that. I'm gonna block that dunk. Get that cheese out of here. When I did that, I said, all right, Cat might be the character for me. What rhymes with cash? I just put Doctor Strange to the floor.